So I've just done a little trial setup of my gear. This is going to be the first of a series of videos where I'm going to be hiking the Great Glen Way. I'm going to be showing you all of the gear I'm going to be taking for a 5-day trip along the Great Glen Way in Scotland. Everything's going to be fitting in my backpack, so apart from maybe a few provisions that we pick up along the way. And I haven't done a packing video in a while, so I thought I'd show you how I'm going to pack everything into this Hyperlight Unbound 55 backpack. It's actually quite breezy today, and I've not had to put any of the guy lines out yet. This tent, it is sturdier than you think it is. Let's have a quick look around inside. As you can see, there is acres of space in here. So I've got a regular wide sleeping pad in there, quilt. I'm going to go through everything individually anyway, but there's a huge amount of space there for my gear that's maybe wet outside. It looks like that needs clipping back in as well. Well, I've missed one. Let me do that now. Do not want to be messing around with things like this after hiking 20 miles, do you? There we go. Just how easy this is one of the reasons why I've chose this tent, but I'll also tell you why I've decided to go with some of this gear as well. So because this is a 5-day trip, I've had to be a little bit more organised than normal. Usually everything just gets shoved in the pack, but I've put everything into specific little packages. These, by the way, they're about £2 from IKEA and they are great. This one is my spare clothes and night clothes, all of that kind of stuff. This one is like my wash kit, but I'll go into those in a second. I'm going to go through things in order of which they're going to go into my backpack, starting with the quilt, which is the Therm-a-Rest Vespa -6 quilt. It is going to be quite chilly next week, and it's going to be raining as well, which wasn't part of the plan. I used this in the Lake District last month, and I was really impressed with it. Packs down really small, really warm, and the material so comfortable as well. And it's going to cover me for the temperature range that I'm going to be sleeping in. It's plenty wide enough as well. There are some pad straps on there which I never bother with, but and there's things so I can cinch things up if it gets drafty. I am actually going to change something from the setup. So I did have the sleeping bag compressed in this Zen Bivy compression sack. I like this because it's got like a one-way valve on it, so you can push all of the air out really well. But I made another last minute change before I came out. Although this is a technically waterproof pack, or very waterproof pack, nothing's completely waterproof, is it? And Scotland, it's going to be raining next week, and Scotland's rain tends to be wetter than other places, so I've brought a pack liner as well, so I don't think that I need that compression sack, so I'm going to leave that out. It actually makes packing easier for me that way as well. So this is the first thing that goes in. I always used to do this anyway. If I've got a pack liner in, the quilt or the sleeping bag just gets stuffed like this, because then that fills all the nooks and crannies at the bottom. Next item is the sleeping pad. This is the new Nemo Eclipse. I use this for the first time in the Lake District as well. I have kept on it a couple of nights now, and it's really comfortable. I've always liked sleeping pads where the baffles go down the length of it rather than across. Much more comfortable for me. No sleeping pad is perfect, but it's so much quieter than a lot of the others that I've used as well. Really thick, and R value 6.2. I have brought the inflator bag with it just as a backup, but I have inflated it with the little, is it Air Go-Go? Keep that in here. We'll go through the whole of this in a second, but it's just this, Air Go-Go little inflator. You can connect this up with your phone or a power bank, and it just inflates this in a minute. It's used 1% of my power bank, which is a 10,000 milliamp, so 5 nights, 5%, I'll take that. So that is the next thing to go into the backpack. So I haven't brought the bag for it. I'm just going to roll this up, just shove it in the bottom. We have brought the repair kit though. Obviously next week when it's raining, I'll be doing all this from inside the tent. Right, pillows next. I have two. I have brought with me the Nemo Philo Elite, I think it's called. This is just a near inflated one with a little bit of cushioning to it. It's really lightweight. I don't know what all of these weigh, to be honest with you. I've not weighed my back even. Although I have changed a few things based on the weight, which I'll talk to you at the end. But as you can see, packs down to nothing. And then I've got my Therm-a-Rest pillow stuff sack thing. I don't know what it's called, but this is so comfortable. But it's just a stuff sack. And in here, I've got my wrap down jacket. So we've got a nice soft bit on that side, and then we've got the stuff sack bit on the outside. And so these go in next. So I've had a lot of support when it comes to gear for this trip from channel sponsor Ultralight Outdoor Gear. So you may have seen me get fitted out for this backpack. So they did sort me out with a backpack free of charge, and the sleeping pad and the pillows. I'll be honest with you, I've been buying gear from Ultralight long before I started working with them. Still buying stuff now. I bought this from them. I bought this sit pad from them. Started off when I went and bought a Hilleberg tent. I went to buy the Enan, and they showed me around the showroom, which is phenomenal. And I didn't realise that they got the largest range of backpacking products in Europe, with over 25,000 different products, and every one of those bits of gear are taken out of the packaging and weighed by them just to make sure the manufacturer's not trying to pull the wool over your eyes. But one of the main reasons I like them is that you can get gear that you just can't buy anywhere else here in the UK. Things like hyperlamp mounting gear. Other than that, you've got to start ordering from America and Canada and other parts of the world. They're also really honest about the gear that they sell. Not only on the product pages do you get what the manufacturer has to say, you also get their opinion. Most of the people that work there are either backpackers, bike packers, through hikers, and they get out and test the gear that they sell. So it's well worth checking out. I will put a link in the description below to Ultralight Outdoor Gear. And thank you for sorting me out with this nice pack. And next up, I'm going to put my wrap jacket in. So this is one of the items that I swapped. So originally I'd packed an Outdoor Research synthetic jacket, and amongst other things as well, when I first put the pack on, I thought, yes, I'm ready to go. It just felt a little bit heavier than I wanted to be carrying. I didn't weigh it because I don't care about what the weight says on the scales. I care about what it feels like on my back. So I started going through some of my kit and made a few changes here and there. Took a few things out, because things like, I'll show you my food bag in a minute. I'd taken 4 meals, 4 breakfasts, all that kind of stuff. And I don't need all of that. There's only 2 days, I think, that we're going to have to fend for ourselves. And the rest of the time, there's plenty of places along the trail to pick things up and have some proper pub grub or a breakfast somewhere. So little things that I've trimmed down. I'll show you some more of those in a second. Well, let's get this jacket in, because it is a little bit lighter and it compresses more as well. So this is the first of my posing pouches. IKEA, I think, come in a pack of 3 for about a £5, something like that. So less than £2 each, I think. I don't know what they're called though. If I can find the link to it, I'll put it in the description below, along with pretty much all the other gear that I am going to be taking on this trip. This just opens not all the way around, and in here I have got some spare clothes. So I've got socks are socks, but the socks that I hike in are darn tough. So these are probably 3-4 years old. I think they come with a lifetime guarantee. They're a little tiny bit bobbly. I do have to defuzz them every now and again. So I've got 3 pairs of socks. It's going to be raining, so I need to change and dry them pretty much every day. I've got a set of dry clothes to get in the tent, so if I get wet I don't mind, because I've got a set of dry clothes. I've not got spare trousers, I've just got one set of trousers. I've got a pair of shorts, another Alpha Direct hoodie. I don't want to get everything out, but because it just makes a mess, doesn't it? Step 1 bamboo boxer shorts, and there is a mountain equipment t-shirts, the ones that I use. And I've just got a pair of liner socks there. They're for hanging about the tent, I think, if I get slightly cold feet. So yeah, I haven't got loads and loads of spare clothes. I've got 1 spare t-shirt, which is going to be my dry clothes, and 1 spare Alpha hoodie. I'll show you this one a little bit later on. My favourite hoodie ever at the minute. It's hardly ever off my back. But this keeps everything nicely compact, and it's like the perfect shape just to slot down into my rucksack, and then it pushes down all of the, the expandable down and stuff, and just gives you that little bit of extra room in your pack. Putting things into these little pouches, it just keeps things organised in a way that, like, I know that this one is just for clothes. Yeah, so I've shoved everything down. So at the minute I've got all my sleep system, all my clothes, pillows, the lot, and I've still got over half my pack left. There's 2 this size, and there's 1 that's the bigger size that comes with the set. So I've used 2 of the 3 pouches. In here is just like my time to go to bed routine pack. I've got my nice little girly flannel. I have got things in like my medication. I've got some ibuprofen, some heavy duty stuff, naproxen, coproximol, and then I've got my blood pressure tablets. Blood pressure is doing really well, just out of interest. And then things like toothpaste, toothbrush. I'm not bothering sawing it in half. I'm not that bothered. There's another little towel. This is something else I bought. This came in an order the other day from Ultralight. This is a little Gossamer Gear hand towel thing. Probably got too many towels, but I've got another one, a yellow one. So thing for the pink one. That pink is for the pink, so that's for wiping myself and stuff like that. And the yellow one is for any sort of, if I need to wipe the tent down and stuff like that. I've got some Wilderness Wash, Cedar Summit that is. This is biodegradable. It's got citronella in it, so it helps keep insects away. Multi-purpose body wash, shampoo, dishwashing, clothes detergent, all in one. Basically it's just soap. Sun cream, 1 packet of biodegradable wipes. Not that I will be discarding them, but you know what I mean. And then that goes on next. So I'm packing these in an order, so the things that are going to the bottom are things that I'm not going to need until I get to camp and set up my tent. Things that I might need before then, like maybe a bit of food or something for a hot drink, that's going to go to the top of the pack. Right, so this is one of the things that I've had to trim down a little bit. This is my like bits and bobs bag. In here is where I keep things like my lantern, which also doubles up as a headlamp. Not headlamp, flashlight. I have got a headlamp as well, which is in my pocket. Things like Luco tape, because when I need to tape my feet up. Couple of charging cables, so things like the headlamp charging cable goes and stays in here. You've already seen the Aerogogo thing. Repair kits for sleeping pads. Little repair kit for things like coats and all that. This common with tough, tenacious tape, that's called. A little bit of duct tape. So I had like a little roll of duct tape as well. That small Gorilla tape. So I've took it out because I've got this. How many times have I used duct tape? I've got my little cork ball, so yeah, that's good for when I get to camp at the end of the night. I might have aching muscles and I can just like massage them. It's really good for the rolling your foot along after you've been walking all day. What else? We've got one earplug, the other one's in here somewhere. Things like that really. Don't think it'll matter with this particular tent, but I've got a pole sleeve as well for repairs. Oh, and I've got a couple of these. So I got like a package come through the post from Holy, and I don't know who. I think it just said we hope to work with you in the future, something like that. But I've never tried them. I don't really do energy kind of drinks and powdered drinks, but we'll give it a go. See if it's any good. I know that a couple of other channels like Liam Brown, he uses these and they sponsor his channel and stuff. I'm not sponsored. I've never even tried it, so we will try it while we're in Scotland though. That is about it in there, but that had quite a lot more in. So it had like a little next tool pen knife thing, a knife sharpener, things that I'm just not going to use or need. So that can go in a minute, but we'll just get these last couple of bits. So I've got my little insulation pouch for my dehydrated food, because that's what I'm going to be eating, which is in this little pouch here. Let's have a look inside this one. So I've had this ages. This is a Rab one. I got this from the factory shop. This was quite a bit thicker and it had an extra couple of or 3 meals in it, but I have got just a few of these kind of things. This is an apple crumble with 1 pudding, and I've got 2 breakfasts, a couple of expedition food ones. There is a real termat and 3 expedition food ones. I've got a scrambled egg with cheese. I'm looking forward to that. And then I've got half a dozen cappuccinos in there. Might have forgot something. Let me just check. No, it's there. So I've got a spare lighter in here, and I've also got my knife and fork set. This is a UCO one. So again, organised. Everything that is foody and drinky is in there, apart from my Cedar Summit cup, which was on the draining board. Now it's in here. So I've got that ready to go. And this is my stove setup. Now this brings back memories. I did originally have the jet boil, and I wanted to take the jet boil, and I love the jet boil, but the sensible Paul finally stepped in and said that you need to just take what you need, the lightest possible, not because you want to use your jet boil. I do want to use my jet boil, but I've not had this out for a while. I'm going to set this up just because it's 10 years since I got this now. So there is a bit of nostalgia to it. Got my lighter in there. There's a tiny bit of fuel in there, but I have brought a fuel bottle with me. That's the stove, look. The burner. Made from a tonic water from years gone by. Just another little rag. And here is the main event. My Stormin Norman cone. You can't get these anymore, unfortunately. You can get something similar, but this is the original one here in the UK anyway. I think Trail Designs, the Caldera cone and stuff like that, pioneered this kind of technology, we'll call it. And you get this little cone. I've got a base plate there which I put the stove on so I don't get any burnt grass or anything. And that fits in there. Light your stove underneath. Bob's your uncle. Fantastic bit of kit. It has had, this is as battered and bruised as I am, I think. Oh dear. But we're still going strong, the pair of us. And we're still loving the adventure, me and Road Storm in here. Rest in peace, Norman. Died a few years back. Yeah, the mug is the Outkit Mai Tai 650. Again, this is 10 years old now and still going very strong. I think it's That's Treadlight gear. Don't know if they're going anymore. They might have packed in now. But this is for my MSR Titan kettle. I've just borrowed it. Said it was okay. And that is compact, and that will do a job. More than a job. Koozie, and then the food thing on there. These are the things that I might need whilst I'm stopping along the trail. Something out of there. I have got some, like a couple of spare painkillers in there. Might need some tape, that kind of thing. And the stove and food near the top. I've decided I'm not taking that, so I've got a buff. I'm gonna have a couple of buffs. So I've got, this is a merino wool one, which is a really good buff, to be fair. And I always have one on my wrist as well. This is my happy birthday ultralight outdoor gear 20th year one. But if I have one on my wrist, then because I'm a sweaty lad, I just keep going like that with it. Really handy. Also got a rab beanie. That's just for hanging about camp at night. And gloves. I'm just going to take these. These are sealskins waterproof gloves. They're warm, keep my hands dry to a degree. If it's raining all day, they might get wet. I'm not going full on Gore-Tex. It is going to be reasonably warm during the day anyway. Get them on there. So one thing I've not really mentioned yet is electronics and power. Things for my camera and phone and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to be bringing a few power banks. I have got one really big one, but it weighs about 650 grams, 30,000 milliamp. But I've got two little ones like this, which don't weigh that much at all. And one that I've got, you can charge it from 0 to 55% in 15 minutes. I have got to take my charging bit with me. So if I stop at a cafe, I can plug it in, have a coffee. At 15 minutes, it's enough to charge my phone once. So yeah, hopefully that'll be enough to get us through. And then the last couple of days, I'm going to have one of these hidden at the bottom of my pack for reserve anyway. But I'll probably make a separate video for that on the main channel, just showing all my camera gear and electronics and stuff for the trip. Some of that though won't be going inside the backpack. Some of it will be going in my little, I have got like an Atom Packs bum bag kind of thing. The last couple of things on top are my first aid kit. I have got a proper one this time. My Life Systems pocket first aid kit. I've added a couple of things to it. So some antiseptic cream. I know that's quite a big one, that. Couldn't find a smaller one. I've got my tick stuff in as well. So my tick tweezers, tick key, and one of those little tick cards. So I'm tick protected. I've got some things in the pockets, some sprays and stuff to show you as well in a second, but that's going to go on the top. And then my drone. So I'm going to take a drone with me. Although we're going to get a fair amount of rain, I'm hoping we get some nice dry patches as well. It's not forecast to be windy, so fingers crossed we can get some good drone shots. I'll show you what it is actually. I've got it in one of these bite lock bags, so this has got like teeth on there. It's a really good waterproof seal once you've got it on there. And then if I can get it out, we can just about. And this is the Hover Air X1 Pro, I think it is. I don't know. And I can just use this on its own and it'll follow me around and stuff. But I've also got a little controller thing with it there, so I can fly it further away. Can't be bothered with drones normally, but I think it might be worth it up there. Scotland has got some beautiful scenery, so it'd be a shame not to show it off, wouldn't it? And this sort of fits perfect. You just have to like twist it a little bit like that, but yeah, that goes very top of my back, so I'm not squashing it or anything like that. The last thing for the inside, I have got little sit pad. Can't remember what it's called. Little pad or something like that. It just squashes down to nothing. You can fit it in your pocket if you want to. Handy little thing. Might even just stick this in the side. But in a minute it's going on the top of the pack. There's loads of room still in there. Shove that in. Right, there's some pockets that I need to show you as well, some of the gear that I've got. I was taking my own selection of pegs again, as usual. There's a couple of Heidelberg ones, they're for the black label. And then for the main ones it's these Eastern, I think they're 8-inch or 9-inch stakes, I can't remember. So in the side pocket I've got my water bottle. I've got a Trangia fuel bottle with bioethanol in. I have got some smidge for those pesky midges and ticks. And I've also got some of the picorid, and that is it. Oh, there's that in there as well. Not sure if I'm taking that or not. It's like anti-chafing stuff, so it's good to rub it on your feet before you go out, or in places that you might suffer chafing. We shall see. Don't really weigh out, probably take it. Better to have it than not. And on the back of the pack I've got one of the little pocket things in there. My phone fits in there perfectly. More ibuprofens in there just in case. I'm taking obviously my Zoleo. This is my satellite communicator, so I can send messages whether I've got no signal or not. There's also an SOS feature which I never ever want to have to press. I know some people tell me I shouldn't have it clipped onto my backpack, but I always know where it is on there. What we got in here? Headlamp of choice is still the Olight. I don't know if you can get that anymore. It's about 7 or 8 years old. We've got a microwave head net, a couple of coffees, and I have got a knife. I've gone for the Victorinox Huntsman knife, Swiss Army knife. Oh, I've got a little, these are handy. It's like a carabiner for you, and it's got like a tripod thing on it. That's magnetic. That's MagSafe, so your phone clips on it if I can get it out of my pocket. There we go. And so you can do a little bit of vlogging and stuff if you need to. Clip that back on there. My trekking poles. So these are Leki poles. Legacy Light AS, whatever that means. Cork handles for corks. And that's another thing that these are good with this tent. Let me just quickly show you. So if the wind picks up, there is a little slot in here where you can add a trekking pole in there to add support. And then you can put one on the other side, and then you've got really sturdy shelter. Hopefully I'm not going to need that. We're not going to be pitching anywhere up too high or anything, but that is an option if I need it. The pack doesn't actually come with trekking pole holders, but it does come with like a webbing that goes all the way down the side and all the way along the bottom. So I've just made some. There's just a bit of bungee cord on there with a carabiner on it. So then I can put my poles in, wrap it round like that. Nope. Then just clip that on. One at the top as well. Go through there and then just clip this onto something. And then your poles are locked in place. Last up, tent. Thurston X-Dome, one person. I just love how much room there is inside, how much headroom there is. You know, it's a nice space to be in. I mentioned in my other video I was a little bit concerned about carbon poles, but the more I use it, the more confident I'm getting with it. Yeah, it's barely flexing. I don't know if you can see things blowing around over there, but they are. So I'm not normally the sort of person that goes for the Boy Scout look of strapping stuff to the outside of your tent. My tent normally ends up going inside the backpack, but it's going to be multiple days and the likelihood is that the tent is going to be wet. So when I was choosing a pack, I wanted something that I could fit a tent into one of the side pockets, so that is where the tent is going to go. Although the bag for the tent is in here, so just let me get that out and we'll pack this away. What did Captain Manaman used to say to Pikey? Stupid boy. I forgot to talk about my clothing that I'm wearing. So, waterproof jacket. What else we got in here? I've got a water filter. I've got the Platypus quick draw and a bottle there. That's the water filter I'm going to be using. I've got some guy lines there, and I've got my poop kit, Deuce of Spades trowel. Right, talk about my clothes. It's not going to be heavy rain, so I'm going for the Outdoor Research helium jacket, the new one. I found it's really breathable. The wind doesn't help when you're trying to put your jacket on, does it? My original thinking was to take a poncho, but I don't want to have be wearing a tent all the time. And you know, when you're going into places on an evening maybe, or you're just walking about, I want a jacket. So I've gone for this jacket as my main outerwear. I'm not taking waterproof bottoms with me. I was thinking, when in Scotland, you wear a kilt. Now I've got no idea who makes this, I can't remember. I did the Derwent Valley Heritage Way about 6 or 7 years ago wearing this. Not all the time. These aren't the best if it's windy, but we're not forecast for wind. That's it, we've got there in the end. So that is 75% of me protected from the rain. I'm also taking, so I said I mentioned in the bag, I've got some shorts. So if it's warm, I plan on walking a fair bit of it in shorts. But if it's cold, I'll be wearing these trousers here. These are Fjordhaven Keb trousers. To be fair, it might look silly, but the kilt does a job. It's really quick and easy to put on, and lets you breathe down there, doesn't it? Yeah, so I'm going to take this jacket off, show you the rest of the gear that I'm wearing. Right, so this little jacket is the Fjordhaven Keb Lat, which is their new lightweight material. The feel of this is absolutely lovely. It's not a waterproof, it is showerproof. It's just a windproof jacket, which is what I prefer most of the time, to be honest. I'm going for layers this time. Normally I like to wear something like a Paramo or something like that, where you keep it on all day. I don't like having to take stuff on and off and putting it on and taking it off. I'm just going to roll with lighter weight layers. Let's have a look underneath. I'll show you my hoodie because I absolutely love this. Yeah, so look at the size of that. Goes down to now. Weighs now. I say now, everything's got a weight, hasn't it? But it just feels like now. Although I've turned it inside out now, haven't I? So this is the Sam Bob Alpha Direct hoodie. It's so warm, so breathable as well. It's warm and cool, so if you got it as a mid layer, it just traps all of the air, and once you've got like a wind shirt on top, you are toast but comfortable. Now if I want to cool off, the wind is cut straight through it, so it can cool you down really quickly, so you can regulate your body temperature. So the other one that I've got for night time, my dry set of clothing, can't remember who makes it now, it's like a burgundy colour one. It's not a patch on this when it comes to fit and feel, although this is covered in Labrador hairs, even though it's just come out of the washing machine. Then underneath this I've got like a long sleeve rab layer, and that's going to be it really. I might pop a t-shirt on from time to time if I want an extra layer, and if I need the down jacket, I've got the down jacket. After much deliberation, I've decided I'm going with these, the Topo Vista, I think they're called, yeah, trail running shoes. I had my doubts because I got a little bit of a sore, but that was from running in them. A couple of days of walking and I am perfectly fine. They've got loads of cushioning in, so you don't feel any of the hard rocks or anything like I do with my Ultras. Get this back on and then we'll get the tent down and packed away. Just going to start into the wind. You can see already, look. Oh, keep standing on these pegs. So when you're taking things like this down, if it's windy, get it down as quick as you can. Don't walk away, start doing bits while you've got your poles attached to it, because that's when you're going to bend or snap or damage your poles. Get it off the poles as soon as you can. Once it's low down to the ground, cooking with gas. So that's only held in with 6 pegs, and I could have got away with just 4. So because everything's bone dry now, I'm going to leave the inner and the outer attached together. I may separate them when I get up into Scotland and the tent's wet. And then hopefully there'll be times where I can just get the fly sheet out once the rain stops and give it some drying time. So this pocket is nice and large. You can get a full tent in there, but like I said, if the inner's dry, I'll take that out, and then just that can go outside of the packed liner, just in case there's a little bit of moisture. But then the fly can just stay in there, and I can just give that a wipe out when we get to the campsite. There we go, everything packed and ready to hit the trail. And the next time you see it should be on the trail in Scotland on the Great Glen Way. If there's anything that you're unsure about with the gear, there will be links in the description below. Just check them out for more information. But that is it for this one. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in Scotland.